What's going on, everyone? So, Austin Reaves' agent, Aaron Riley, said this when JJ Redick was hired as the Lakers head coach. This coach is about to show a different part of Austin's game none of you have seen. Kept receipts on all that third superstar BS. Great hire for LA. Going to get a big year next season. So, JJ Redick, as I'm sure all of you are aware, is officially the Lakers head coach. And JJ Redick and Austin Reaves apparently have a really good relationship. Now, they did do a podcast together. JJ Redick had talked and kind of broken some things down for Austin Reaves, right? JJ Redick has also spoken on Austin Reaves on several occasions through various outlets and stuff. So there clearly is some excitement. I mean, if Austin Reaves' agent feels this way, you can only imagine how Austin Reaves feels about this signing, which I also think is funny because there was so much talk about how, all these players didn't want JJ Redick. And, and like I said, I thought it was all noise. I thought it was all nonsense, right? But this is good because I think, one, Austin Reaves is very likely going to be one of the bigger pieces for the Lakers next year, right? The Lakers don't want to trade Austin Reaves. It doesn't look like they have any intention of trading Austin Reaves. I think they're going to do everything in their power to keep Austin Reaves. Even if they try to go land a star or whatever, I think that they'll try to trade everything else but Reaves. And he's kind of like a big piece for them. And look, I like Austin Reaves. I like Austin Reaves a lot. And, going into last offseason, I hyped up Austin Reaves like many did, but I hyped up Austin Reaves like he was, the second coming of Michael Jordan, right? I was talking about how great he was and this, that, and the other. And he was disappointing, right? If we're being honest, he was disappointing. He wasn't as bad as people made him out to be, but he wasn't anywhere close to what he was the previous year. In particular, shooting the basketball. Defensively, he was atrocious and was a liability out there. Although in the playoffs, he actually was really good defensively. He actually picked it up defensively. But teams were just, eyes were lighting up when Reaves was on the basketball court on the defensive side. But he wasn't making a big enough impact to really kind of outweigh the liability. And in particular was the shooting. I thought Austin Reaves had the potential to have a 20-point-a-game season was kind of the thing that I was throwing out. That I thought Austin Reaves could be basically a 25-5 guy. I thought without, if he was in the right situation, could maybe be a 25-5 guy. But I thought, bare minimum this year, I was expecting him to be around 20 points. Austin Reaves averaged 16 points, 15.9, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. So he was there as far as the 5-5 go. He was 1 rebound or 0.7 short of 5 rebounds. He had the 5.5 assists, which is good, but he had 16 points. If he shot the 3-point percentage that he shot the previous year, which was basically 40%, he would have been over 20 points. So everything that I was saying Austin Reaves I thought he could have been, he would have been had he actually shot efficiently. He shot 36.7% from three-point range, which isn't terrible, but if you actually watched him this season, that was he wasn't a 37% three-point shooter, right? He was basically, 5 or 6 games, 20%. I mean, he had a quarter of the season where he was 22%. 28% from three-point range. He was awful shooting the basketball, right? And then you saw him kind of have these stretches and these pockets where he'd go, 4 or 5 from 3, and just lighten it up. And it's good. Is this I don't know how many times I was is this the game where he finally starts to find some consistency in his shot? He also wasn't as aggressive in getting to his spots as he was in previous years, even when he had the basketball, right? It was a really odd year for Austin Reaves, and I was very disappointed, right? Now, I was in the camp of trading Austin Reaves. I still am, but not in the sense, when I talk about trading Austin Reaves, and people are so quick to oh, you don't trade Austin Reaves or whatever. You don't just trade Austin Reaves to trade Austin Reaves. Right? When I was talking about trading Austin Reaves, I was talking about DeJounte Murray. if Austin Reaves is the thing holding you up, like if you could take Austin Reaves and turn him into DeJounte Murray, why wouldn't you do that? Even Austin Reaves, even if he was a 25-5 guy, DeJounte Murray's the better player. So if you can get the better talent, get the better talent. Right? I don't want to trade Austin Reaves for Tyus Jones or something like that. Like, I don't want to trade Austin Reaves just to trade Austin Reaves. But if the right move is there, no one, in my opinion, is untouchable. Right? Like, there's only like 3 or 4 guys in the entire league that are really untouchable. Right? Like, the only, you can make an argument for guys, but really, when you boil it down, it's like 3 guys. It's like Luka, Victor Wembanyama, and like Jokic are pretty much the only guys, right? Like Giannis, you definitely make an argument for him. Various guys, again, you can make arguments for Joel Embiid, but I think you can make as compelling of an argument to trade those guys. But I digress. Point is that Austin Reaves, like, I'm rooting for Austin. I want to see him have success. I want to see him get back to being that aggressive, just fearless and careless kind of player that we saw. I think he's probably best in the 6-man role still, like genuinely. Because I just think like the numbers and everything back it up, right? Like even last year, you looked at his number, he was more efficient. He gave you the exact same production because for him, it's about the minutes more than whether it's starting or coming off the bench. But I'm willing to see what JJ can do, right? JJ, I do think, is going to utilize guys a lot better than Darvin Ham did. And so I do think that Austin Reaves has the potential to kind of take it up a notch. And I do think if you put Austin Reaves in the right positions, I do think he can be more effective, right? Like this is a guy that, again, it wasn't that long ago we were like, man, we got our third guy, right? And there was confidence with it. And he showed the confidence. He showed that swagger. And I do think that he can still have that. I still think he can be a very important, very impactful piece, for the Lakers, right? Especially if he's like your 4th option or whatever, or even if he is your 3rd option, right? If you can kind of pick him up a notch. But again, it kind of boils down to his shooting. Because it doesn't matter what type of sets you put him in. If you can't shoot the basketball, that's a problem. Right? Now, there's a lot of questions of like, did he just have tired legs? Which I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like I've seen people and comments and stuff like that where people have been like, man, Austin Reaves, all we've seen him do is play golf. Like, why isn't he working out and playing basketball or doing this, that, and the other? And my defense for him is that like we saw him go and play heavy minutes in a deep playoff run to the Western Conference Finals, then immediately jump into Team USA where he was one of the biggest players and pieces, then immediately jump into the preseason and regular season and play all 82 games. The guy could probably use like a month or so off to really just kind of get his legs back under him. I don't mind him taking time off to kind of just get his body, get his mind, and get his legs right? And then start ramping up and get going. But if Austin Reaves can take a jump or take a leap, I'm excited, right? Like if Austin's agent is right and we're going to see a different Reaves, I'm all for that, right? Like if we get back to the Reaves that we saw in his breakout season, that'd be great, right? Kind of have Reaves have another breakout year. Again, he didn't have a terrible year, right? It's just compared to what we saw and what we expected from him, it was disappointing. I think there was more disappointment than it was he was bad. He wasn't like atrocious. There were times where he was really bad. But again, he wasn't as bad as people made him out to be. And I do think the potential's there. But regardless, the Lakers they're going to have to break up D'Lo and Reaves, right? We need some athleticism in the front court or in the backcourt. Backcourt. If you get a DeJounte Murray, like I'm all for like DeJounte and Austin Reaves. If you told me we had like our starting 5 was like, DeJounte Murray, Austin Reaves, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, like I'm cool with that. Like that to me sounds like a pretty solid starting 5, right? Like there's talks about maybe moving him to the point. I don't really like that. We saw him really struggle this past season as the point guard, right? He doesn't handle ball pressure well. No, it doesn't mean he can't improve and get better, but just based on what we saw, he didn't handle ball pressure well. He can get tunnel vision at times. He's not really a playmaker. He can make plays. He can find the open man, find the occasional cutter, run the basics. But, but if LeBron is going to kind of be your point guard, which according to JJ Redick, he wants LeBron to play off ball more. So then that definitely doesn't make sense to have Austin Reaves be that guy. But, if you are gonna make LeBron be your pseudo point guard, then fine. Because then at that point you just need, Reaves or whomever to kind of be the initiator. But ideally you go get like a DeJounte Murray, have Reaves play the two. Fine, I'm okay with that. Right? Especially if we can get some athleticism at the guard position. But I do think you got to break these two up. I do think that these two are far too comparable. I think they're a lot of ways the same player. But Austin Reaves, look, again, if you can turn him into a real quality upgrade, I think you trade him. Right? I don't think he's untouchable. Right? I think he's a very good role guy. I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar. I don't think he's ever going to be, a top 5 or 10 player in the league. I'd love to be wrong in that regard, but I don't think he will be. I think he is who he is. He is, the third best player if your first two guys are the right two guys. But more likely, probably best as like your fourth guy, maybe even in that 6-man role type thing. And a guy that could really come in and make a real impact. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that these two, or that Austin Reaves can kind of take another stride, have another big impact year, kind of turn things around? Do you think no, trade him, unload him, whatever? Do you think, got to break up D'Lo and Reaves, whatever you do? Again, how do you feel, whatever your thoughts are? I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.